person who talks about Cryptopia all day. Nice to meet you all.
All right,
Thank you.
great, great. Thank you very much, Hugh. How about you, John?
Hey, good morning or good evening to most of the people here. I'm in America. I'm John. I'm the CIO at Cryptopia. Yeah, so I'm in America. Like I said, I'm on the opposite side of the world of most of you. I just got out of bed, but it's nice to be here with my tech faction members and representing the tech faction. Thanks.
For sure, for sure. Thank you very much for waking up so early. And next one, can you please introduce yourself, Zimri?
Hello, I'm Sima. I have been involved in crypto for almost a decade now. I know the Cryptopia founders from a different project where we have worked together. And currently I'm working for Sky Mavis, but I'm also an advisor for several projects, including Cryptopia.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much. And I'm sure you all know him already, but we never get tired of hearing his voice. Chief, can you please quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, thank you. So you like my voice? Okay, that's good to hear. No, well, my name is Sang Ho. I'm the CEO of Cryptopia, and actually, I was without a faction for a long, long period, and now I decided to join the tech faction because of the tech week. And I will be joining every faction over the coming weeks and pop in the chat and get to know you guys and get to know the vibe. And after all the factions have their own week, I'll probably make a choice to have a definite faction. So if you see me, please try to convince me to join your side.
For sure. So definitely invite Chief to join your faction. And like I said, thank you very much for introducing yourselves. I'm sure the community is all very excited to get to know you more and hear your stories. And so, like I said, the topic for today is tech and meeting the tech faction. The future is now, and technology is now a big part of our lifestyle. Today, we're going to talk about tech and how it has changed our lives, and that is why we have the members of the tech faction here for you guys, so they can share stories, situations, and events where technology changed their views in gaming and in life. So, tech faction members, take it away. Yeah. All right.
Well, I think my generation is actually known as the generation who's the first to experience life without the internet and life with the internet. So before the internet, we had, like pagers, and we didn't have cell phones, and we used pay phones. But there's been a lot of advancements in technology just in my life alone. Mainly the internet and everything revolving around it. But like that combined with gaming, the internet, when it combined with gaming, allowed you to like connect with people from all over the world in a way that you couldn't before. It wasn't possible, and so it's really had a big impact on like every aspect of my life, even today. Like I use technology in ways that you wouldn't really necessarily think that it's technology. Like most people associate technology with like microchips and computers and programming and maybe like medical technology and stuff like that. But there's also, like the printing press and the wheel and stuff like that came along, and like it helps me in my life, even because I have a lot of medical problems and I can't do a lot of things that I used to be able to do. So even stuff like mechanical technology, like I got a tractor, so that helps me with a lot of the um, physical movements and stuff that I can't lift and things like that. So it lets me. It's like I'm 10 people working out there in my tractor when before that I was like half a person, really. So I don't know. I feel like I've been talking for a while, but I just wanted to kind of like open up the stage talking about technology. So I'll shut up for a second.
Definitely not the case, but yeah, I really appreciate that. Zima, can you take the next one?
Yeah, sure. So for example, technology, and I like the example that John gave, that technology is more than just microchips and phones and everything. Like it can be so much more. But the application of technology in gaming is very interesting. And I'd like to especially focus on Minecraft because it has really changed a generation of gaming. Because what Minecraft did different from most other games is that it allowed player-generated content, and it didn't just allow it, but basically the entire game was built on player-generated content. Like, making your own stuff is the game. And from Minecraft, a lot of other games appeared that had similar principles. And on top of just that, which is already a really great point that they also had a great application of randomly generated content, which in most games it is seen as something bad, but in Minecraft it is actually a large part of the success of the game. So they are showing that even technologies that are often considered bad can also be used for good. It's not the tool itself that is good or bad, it is how you use it. And that actually goes for almost all technology. Like, the way you use it is more important than the tool itself.
100% true. You know, I've heard a lot of folks from the traditional gaming sector, and they kept on saying, "Why do people play Minecraft a lot? Because when it kind of looks funny, it's not aesthetically pleasing. But if you really get into it, you know, it allows you the freedom to create. It's an open sandbox, right? It allows you to create a lot of things, and even someone actually created Minas Tirith, you know, the castle from Lord of the Rings inside Minecraft, and it has all the rooms inside of it, and it's a large open space. And Minecraft is truly revolutionary, and in my opinion, one of the greatest games of our generation. Yeah, thank you very much, Zima, for sharing your thoughts on that. How about you? Do you have any stories to share for our community?
So yeah, hey guys, like most of us, here, my common interest in this space also started because of gaming. Since like a child, I've been playing games up to till now, and then exactly last year, I came across Player and Games, Axie Infinity to be specific, and then from there, my curiosity on exchanging um game earnings to stable coins really started. And yeah, since then I become really invested in learning the very core of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And at first I tried to learn how to trade on YouTube, but it didn't work. So I just got lost on how I can learn. So I think I needed some walkthrough in this space. So I get myself into a mentoring program, like someone who teaches you how to trade. So yeah, I get into mentoring program. So I guess can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Don't worry, it's an event stage, so no one really responds to you. But yeah, and you know, that's a very interesting story. A lot of folks have started with Axie, you know, as an entry point for them to get into the crypto gaming space. And because of that entry point, you know, it allowed them
Are you
still
hear me,
there?
guys?
Oh yeah, Chief.
Okay, sorry.
it's a bit early here.
Oh, I was on mute. Sorry. Thank you very much, you, for sharing that. You know what? That's actually really interesting because, as you said, a lot of people used Axie as their entry point into the crypto gaming sector, and it allowed them to grow technologically because a lot of folks who didn't actually played Axie to get to earn money, but then because of that, it allowed them to learn more stuff about technology, learn more stuff about the crypto space, and it's a really cool movement actually. Chief, actually, I do want to hear a story from you regarding tech. Since you're not yet sure which faction you want to be from.
Yeah. Well, of course, tech is really omnipresent, right? So there are so many things these days that really make your life easier. And there's so much going on that you even never think about. So tech is everywhere, and I really love tech. I'm not really that kind of a tech guy that I'm nerding out on it, but I really do love it and appreciate it. And for me, it's more the internet technology that made the most difference. It influenced what I did as a, when after my studies, the work I did. I started with IBM, so that's a huge tech corporation. And from there, I ventured into the online space, digital space, and if you talk about digital, you talk about tech. So for me, it's really something that's always there and will always transform and revolutionize all the things we see, and even in ways we cannot yet imagine or foresee, and that's what's really exciting about tech, and especially of course in the blockchain technology and now in the gaming space. It is very exciting. And what makes me most enthusiastic is that it also can solve real world problems.
Yes.
And with that, I don't want to say that there's also tech that doesn't solve problems. Of course, it solves problems, but it really solves problems that are, really close to me, like, having ownership of your assets, making things fairer or more equal, or at least give people the opportunity to take part in certain movements or spaces. And I know it sounds very vague now, but like for gaming or for crypto in 2016, 2017, and that's where I know Zimri from. We worked together already in these days. We were busy trying to democratize venture capital, like the great startups with the great ideas. The normal people, like the retail investors, so to say, never have access to these projects. So they never have access to potentially huge gains, like 10x or 20x of their investment. And with blockchain technology, it suddenly became possible to cut out the middleman, so to cut out the VC firms, and have direct access to really great ideas and startups. So I see the same today with NFTs and blockchain gaming. Again, it is possible for regular people to take part in something very new and very unique, and we are very early. And you do not need to be part of a VC firm or an investment bank, or you're just a guy with access to a computer and a bit of knowledge about technology, a bit of knowledge about how to get online, to navigate online, because if you need to acquire crypto and install a wallet and stuff like that, well, you have to be a bit internet savvy, right? And that's all there is. And of course, you need to have some cash, some money that you can spare to invest, and then you're there. And that really excites me.
True. Technology is, really amazing, and as simple as, taking a picture, right? And if you're having a bad day and you're not really looking that well for that particular day, right? Taking a picture can automatically make you look better, right? So the little things. So, Mixie, being one of our community members, you've been here in Cryptopia a lot. Can you share with our community what tech has done for your life?
Yeah, I would like to share how modern technology has changed my life in countless ways and made my life so much easier. So let me begin with the area where technology has had the greatest impact on me, which is communication. 2 to 3 years ago, I never had my own phone, so communicating with people outside of my immediate vicinity was once a difficult thing for me to do. So I have to always stop by someone's house to talk to them, to have a chat with them. But now that is no longer the case because I have technology on my hand. I have my phone, I have my laptop, and I can communicate with people from anywhere at any time. I can communicate with people from other countries without difficulty, just like now in Philippines. And sometimes I just can't help but wonder what my life would be like, without technology. Because without alarm clocks, without refrigerators, without computers, telephones, and other modern conveniences, it would be a lot of different from what I am used to. The truth, whether you deny it or not, I know everyone is relying heavily on technology to get through the day. I know my family is very reliant on technology. We spend a lot of time in computers. We are constantly looking up things for school, and alarm clocks are used by almost everyone in my family to wake them up in the morning because before we only rely on roosters or the sound of the roosters in the morning. So also in order for me to play Cryptopia, I've been needing this technology. So that's it. I'm just trying to say that technology is everywhere you look inside my house, and it makes our life much easier. And I'm sure it's the same for everyone. These are the many of few things that have made me particularly interested in technology. And I guess it's safe to say that this also influenced my decision to join the tech faction and become a technocrat.
Absolutely. Thank you very
Nice.
nice. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mixie, for sharing that. Communication. That technology solved that for humanity. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. David. I invited you on stage because I know that
Yes.
technology is something that you are very passionate with, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes,
in
thank
this
you very
session.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
can you share with us any stories about tech that we will all benefit from?
Actually, now I am on the car. I am on the highway, so the signal is not very good. So
No, we can hear you
uh,
loud and clear. We're very clear.
you can hear me, right?
Yes, perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So can you repeat it?
Can you share with us any stories about technology? Anything that you would like to share about the topic that you're very passionate
Other
about?
Yeah, about the technologies, right?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I mean that all over the world, in general, and Vietnam in particular, in case of if we have no technologies that we cannot develop. So every aspect of the life and the economy. So we have to use technology uh, to how to how can I say? But I mean that without the technologies, we cannot take the economy and everything in life move up. And now the technologies applies in all aspects of the society. Is in Vietnam also.
Yes, you actually did mention that during our podcast, right? That
Yes,
in any
right.
country, in order for them to develop, they need to embrace technology. They
Yes, of
need
course.
to
So we have
use.
to apply the technology and to the everything in life.
There you go. So yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Mr. Din, for sharing that. So yeah, Mr. Din is specifying that technology is crucial into the development of any country nowadays,
Yes, sure.
especially in Vietnam. Vietnam is one of the most
Yeah,
technologically
developing
advanced.
country. Yeah. So
There you go. Yeah.
we apply the technology in everything.
Yeah, because in the past, right, Vietnam has always been an agricultural country, so to speak, right? And
Yeah.
in a short span of time, by accepting or applying technology in all aspects of their government,
Yes, of course. Right.
Vietnam has truly developed very heavily in a short span of time. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
very much, Mr. David, for sharing that. And
Yes.
so, right now, I really am happy that these people right here shared their stories about tech, and I'm sure we've all taken something away that we can use in our lives right now. So, as of this moment, I am opening the floor for questions. We have here this very intellectual people right in front of you. They are available to be asked. So if you have any questions about tech, about what they do, I am opening the floor right now. I'm encouraging everyone to go on stage right now and ask questions. Any questions from our listeners right now or in Discord? Moderators, can you please check if there are any questions? We actually have a question from our Google form. Anyone from the panelists can answer this question. So, okay, let me go ahead and find the question. Okay, there you go. What do you guys think is the huge negative impact of AI, and how will you change it into a positive one?
I think I can take this one.
All right, great. Thank you.
Everyone's
Yeah.
okay with that. So, AI is a pretty complicated topic, so of course I will have to simplify it a lot. But and I don't know if the original person who asked this question is in the room to ask more specific details. But I will go into the financial aspect because I think that is the intention of the question. But if you have a different intention, please say so I can diverge on a different path. But generally, with AI, people are commonly afraid that AI is going to steal their jobs, which of course is a fair concern and it has some implications. But funnily enough, that is not a problem with technology, but that is a societal problem. And I will explain what I mean by that. Because if you go back in time to the medieval time period where you had kings and peasants, the lords, they were not worried about the peasants stealing their jobs, Like that was the entire point of the peasants, that they did the job. So we don't want jobs. We want the fruits of the labor, right? So there is nothing wrong inherently with the AI taking over our jobs and doing our work for us, as long as we actually get the benefits of it. But there lies a problem. Because imagine if only Jeff Bezos has all the AI in the world, and he has complete control over all the productivity of that AI. Well, then we would have a problem, because he would have everything and everyone else would have nothing, and he would effectively be the king of the world and have everything, like literally, like there is no challenge. Like that would be a problem. But alternatively, if you would have, say, a government or something that controls the AI, then basically you are at the mercy of the government. So basically, as long as you support the government, you can have whatever you want. But if you oppose the government, well, you're basically screwed. So that is a big societal problem, and that is something that we as a society need to solve. That's not a technological issue though. Like there are potentially some technological issues with AI if AI becomes smarter than humans, but that is really a topic for another time, probably.
True. Yeah, well, actually, that is a very good take, Zima. So it's not really a technological problem, but a societal problem. And so, yeah, it's not technology's fault, so to speak. Yeah, thank you very much for that beautiful take on that question. Anyone else who would like to go ahead and answer that question? What do you guys think is the huge negative impact of AI, and how will you change it into a positive one? Yeah, it's a very complex question. Anyone care to answer that one, or shall we move on to the next? And
I don't really have an answer, but I just wanted to say that I haven't really heard that explanation explained so beautifully before. Right. That's perfect, Zima. Thanks.
Here you go. So,
Thanks.
Yeah. With that silence, I think that is cue for us to go ahead and ask the next question. So, another question that we have here is this is directed to Mixie or anyone in the group, to be honest with you. How can you see the world without technology? Do you see a world where, you know, people are not really using technology at all, and we're just, you know, caveman era? Mixie.
And, life without technology wouldn't be functional or enjoyable for most of us, especially for me. Technology keeps the world running by, all imagine waking up one day, all of the computers on the planet just disappeared. First of all, you'd wake up late because your smartphone alarm no longer exists.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Well, how about you, Chief? Do you have any takes on that?
Yeah, well, sometimes I sort of fantasize about such a thing, like on a bounty island with palm trees and, no phones, no internet, just beautiful weather, and of course, nice companions with me. But no, of course, it's impossible to imagine a world without technology. I mean, like the basics, like the heating, or how do you want to do the cooking, or the refrigerating of your food, or the transportation of goods, or the division of labor. It's impossible. We are organized in such a way that we cannot live without technology. That would be really a huge disaster. But on the other hand, there are also some negative effects, like the attention you give to your, on a basic level, to the devices you have, at the expense of having real world interactions or real world social interactions, the pollution and stuff like that, and also the inequality. The ones that have the power also are the owners of the technology. So those are the negative effects. So then I could see positive side effects of not having technology, but then again, the world will be in chaos, and we will lose a lot of the good things we have. Our income, our wealth. So it's impossible. But sometimes you wish you could, disable some parts of the technology.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Chief, for that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes it is nice, right? Going on a beach, just zoning out of everything. But yeah, that is an interesting take right there. Another question from our community is that, when do you say no to technology? Do we ever say no to technology?
I think when it comes to your privacy, sometimes you have to say no. That could be a downside of technology too. Like, you don't want to give up all of your information and have that, now that it's so readily available, where everybody's connected on the internet and can access it. Sometimes you need to be a little more concerned about that.
True. Yeah, that is a something to be worried about. Another question that we have here is, what do you think is the biggest issue facing the tech industry today? Do you have any idea of what issues is the tech industry now?
Yeah, I think it is centralized power.
Oh, okay, centralized power. Can you share more information about that? I think I to be honest with you, I don't have any idea what that is. Yeah.
Well, there have been in the past really big corporations that were essentially more powerful than government. For example, I think it was called Standard Oil Company, like the one from the Rothschilds, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not that good at history, but there used to be one in history that was so big that essentially the government had to break it down. It ordered it to break down because it was just too powerful. But nowadays we have those technological giants like Google and Facebook and Amazon and such, and they are much more powerful than any corporation or government in the history of the world. Like they have so much power, and Elon Musk is already how do you say it? Already working on technology to make a brain-computer interface. So like literally implants in your brain to do amazing things. And that technology is great. It can be used for a lot of good. I'm not denying that. But it is also quite scary that he is the only one with that power. And you basically have to trust him to implant things into your brain that can read and write information in your brain. So in essence, it can hack your brain. And yeah, that is just incredibly scary to me. And that is also a reason why I would say no to technology, because that is, I'm not saying that necessarily that technology is going too far, because like I said, it can be used for a lot of good, but I don't trust the persons doing it. And I would never fully be able to trust such a person unless I know exactly what is going into my brain and if I have control over it myself, which I can't because I don't have the technology to do that. So, you know, that is kind of a problem to me.
Yeah, exactly, and that was what I meant with the inequality and the power. You know, the concentration. So the ownership of technology is concentrated in only a small part of hands, or it's not really good English sentence, but it's like a monopoly, right? So we're talking about a free market economy, but in a way, it's only gravitating towards larger monopolies, and it's oh, that scares me. So what Sima says is exactly what I wanted to say. It really scares me because we at some point we are not smart enough to counter it or to have or organize checks and balances. We are not smart enough to do so. So then we're beyond that point. And in addition, the big monopolies also, well, although they seem very innovative, they also kill a lot of innovation because they want to keep their position. So look at the Facebook and the Microsoft and the Google. Look at what they acquire, the startups they acquire, and then look at what happened to those ideas or technology of these startups. And I guarantee you that out of the 10 they acquired, probably 9 or 8, you never hear from again. They just kill it before it becomes a competition. And that's really also a bad thing. And in addition to the previous question, it's also related to this one. Indeed, you are sort of allowing people. I mean, technology is a great thing indeed, but the people that use it or that can program it or can set up parameters, that's the problem indeed. So that's also why I am very reluctant to, tech in the military industry. And I think currently we still have humans deciding whether to kill someone or not, or engage. But of course, there is a logical path to also leave it to a computer, right? Because they have a massive computational power, can have millions of variables in the calculation and calculate it in a split second. But there's still an ethical question, and I think we can never leave that to a machine or technology. We talk about tech now. So ethical questions, I would really steer far away from that, leaving that to technology, not because of the technology itself, but because of the parameters and the people that program that technology. They decide what the ethical motivations, the pros and cons are, and I can't trust that.
Yeah, you're right, Chief, because having one person have access to that and have control over that thing that controls everyone, that is very scary. It's like one of the interviews that an interviewer said to Elon Musk, "You're like a supervillain," because he's doing supervillain things, right? And so, thank you very much, Chief, for sharing that. This is an interesting question. We actually do have Jane Brown, which is an advisor of the traditional faction, right? And she opposes the tech faction's ideologies, and can you guys share with her why the tech faction's ideology is supreme and is more ideal than her, than her ideologies? Can you take that one, Chief?
Ooh, that's
Yeah, we have
that's a
Jane
good
Brown
question.
here. She's spying on the tech
Oh,
faction
really?
right now. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, for me, it's a bit hard to answer because I recently joined the tech faction. So, by joining, I'm by no means agreeing or approving all
Oh,
the
I see.
ideas.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a bit difficult for me to answer this one.
Understood, Chief. Thank you very much for trying. How about Hugh? You are an advocate of the tech faction. Can you share with Jane Brown why the tech faction is more superior than the traditional faction?
Simply because we want a higher caliber of life, like a limited expert of um, population that could advance our society, and we don't really think high population will advance our society because more means an increase in demand for food, water, housing, and energy.
I see. Well, yeah, John.
What Zimmer was. Oh, sorry.
No, John, go.
You know,
go.
like the technology is not a bad thing. It's not taking your job is not a bad thing because you don't want the job. You want the benefits of the job. That makes a lot of sense to me. And we just view things differently that way.
Yeah, definitely. I do remember a cartoon. I don't know which cartoon it was, and the guy was very old, and he was in a factory, and his job was to put caps on bottles. And it got to a point where the owner of the factory had to replace him with a machine to put the bottles on the cap. But at some point, the machine broke down, and he was hired again to fix the machine whenever it broke down. So in some sense, the lesson there is machines can never replace us. There will come a point where the human touch will be needed in order for any business or any factory to be successful. Another question that we have here in chat right now is there any technology that you are afraid of that might exist in the future? So aside from the monopoly thing that Zima Cryptopia talked about, is there any other technology that you guys are afraid of that might exist?
Mind reading.
Mind reading. Wow.
That for me that would be really oh man, that would really terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, so whether they're experimenting with it or not, but that would be really that someone or a government or an agency can read everything you think. Wow.
I actually think, Chief, that it already exists, because if you take a look at, if you're using Facebook right now and you look at you stop scrolling and take a look at a picture of a food item, right? All of a sudden YouTube shows food items. TikTok shows
but
food items.
that's still based on behavior and not so much, of course, also on intention and infer. But yes, I see what you mean, of course, and that's also, well, I come from that sector about data mining and digital analytics, but really I can still watch a picture of food and think, oh, it's ugly or it's disgusting, right? Instead of showing me more of that. But then that they also know that what I think at that moment, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, Zima, you were about to share something.
I kind of agreed with your vision. Like it is of course really scary, and I think we are getting quite close, as Ladi said. yeah, so yeah, really good contribution. But on top of that, I'm also really scared of artificial general intelligence. So that is basically a superhuman AI that beats us on all topics. Because right now we have narrow intelligence, like artificial narrow intelligence, which means an artificial intelligence can beat you on one topic. Like it can beat you on chess, but it can do nothing else. Like if you ask it to make you a sandwich, it will just crash because it can't do that. But if you have AGI, it can beat you on everything imaginable. And that is just super scary. But either way, it will be the last invention human make. Either because we don't need any other invention than that because it's much smarter than us, so it will invent everything else for us, or because it's the last invention we will make because it will literally kill us. And there is no way of knowing which one it will be until it actually is completed. So that's what the scary part is. Like, since it is so much smarter than us and it can develop itself to become smarter, because if we already reach the point where we made an AI that is smarter than us, then by definition it is smart enough to make something even smarter than itself and to upgrade itself. So yeah, once you make it, there is no going back, and that's the scary part.
Yes, that's true. One of the things that I'm scared about, maybe it's far away from the future, but time travel, right? The moment we invent time travel,
Nice.
right? The moment we invent that, I heard Joe Rogan say this: the moment time travel is invented, time ceases to exist. Because at any point in time, once a person time travels, multiple realities will exist. Multiple versions of realities will be, become infinite. Because if you do something in the past, it will all change the course of everything. Multiple realities, multiple time loops or something. So that's really scary for me. And how about you, John? Do you have anything to share about what scares you about technology?
Just a quick comment. How would you stop somebody from going back in time and uninventing the time machine?
You can't. You can't really.
I have Chief mentioned it already when it comes to like military technology and
Oh wow.
allowing, like for instance, an AI drone, giving it the permission to take someone's life is an ethical question that I don't think we have the answer to, and we never will.
Yeah.
So that should probably be left to humans, and ultimately we should probably not be killing each other in the first place, but we are. So
Yeah.
I don't think robots should be doing it either.
For sure, because the robot would always do the most efficient thing, right? And not the most
Right.
ethical things. Yeah, you're right. Definitely. But, as humans, I understand that there's a lot of negativity towards technology, and since it's something that's really unknown because we're barely scratching the surface. But right now, as as human society, as the people creating the technology, is there any way that we can condition ourselves, to discipline ourselves, to I don't know, look at technology positively? Is there any mindset that we need to go ahead and put ourselves in when it comes to technology?
If you're asking me, sorry you broke up a little bit, but it's it goes back to what Zimmer said. Like technology is here to make your life better, not to replace you. And as long as you focus on that side of it, you can only make technology to do good things. And until we get to a point where we have like AGI, like you mentioned, an artificial general intelligence that can repair itself and can make more advanced technologies, you're still going to need the humans around to create this stuff, to repair it, and to maintain it, to possibly upgrade it, and things like that. So it's the mindset is that technology is here to help you, not to replace you.
Right, right. Thank you. And Zima said, it's not really a technology problem. It's an us problem, right? So it's really up to us to utilize the technology that's given to us. Not the other way around. So
Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely. And I'm sorry to be negative, but I really don't see a way to get there because, of course, what Sima says is right. And ideally, you should have like a basic income, so people that are no longer necessary to do tasks that the technology can take over, they are free to do something else, right? But instead, they are free. So there's a redistribution of wealth, so that the ones owning the technology can make money. But if they want to redistribute that money to the people that are no longer necessary in the labor process, then you would have a really, really good situation. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So the people are out of a job, out of money, instead of getting some basic income or redistribution of wealth so they can do something else with their lives that is more meaningful or more beneficial to society. And as long as we are still in the structure of the hyper-capitalism that owns technology and gets only more powerful and more monopolies, I can't really see something positive develop. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, I agree. And even with the basic income, there are also potentially problems depending on how it's implemented. Because, like I said, if the basic income comes from a government and they have the right or the ability to take away your basic income because they don't like you, then it's still not okay. So the only way to do it is in a decentralized way where you have the basic income and it cannot be taken away from you under any circumstances, no matter what you do. Like, that's the only way.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter what you think or what you believe or what you love, you always have it. That would be really, yeah, the best situation indeed.
I just don't really see that happening, sadly. Oh, sorry.
No, neither do I. So and it is a pity to be so pessimistic or negative. But yeah, it's also if you look at history, it's not really promising in that respect. But on the other hand, we are busy now trying to build something up from the ground, and that in and by itself is very positive. So what we do today, and also the people listening in now, we are all part of the movement that can not create the end situation that we just illustrated, but we can improve the lives of many people in small steps by doing what we do now. So and we should never give up, of course. So we should be really relentless and try to get there, even though we maybe know that it is not really something that we in the end can achieve, but still we should try.
Yeah, agreed. That is also indeed the reason why I joined crypto in the first place almost a decade ago. And I still believe in that philosophy, and I will always be motivated to work towards that goal. And that's also why I think that even if AI takes all of our jobs, there will still be people that work towards their goal, because we like working. Humans like working. We just like working towards a goal that is important to us personally. And if you have that goal, you will always work towards it, even if you don't get paid for it. Because that is your goal, your motivation, what drives you. We don't want to screw caps on bottles 40 hours per week. That's not our goal. Like, no one wakes up in the morning thinking like, oh yeah, I really want to screw some bottle caps, No, of course not, Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, thank you very much for those takes, guys. We actually do have one last question here from Saisa.
Hey guys, thank you so much for a very good discussion here. This question is just very light. Maybe anyone can answer. What is for you the worst invention? If there's such a thing, a stupid invention that you can provide, you can think of? what would that be for you?
Oh wow, that's a good question. There's so many.
Bam.
I need some time to think.
A battery operated battery charger. There you go.
Battery operated drum kit for a young kid.
Yes, also.
There's probably gonna be a lot of joke answers. And to be honest, I don't really know about the word technology, and I don't think such a thing exists or can exist. Because while there may be a lot of bad uses of technology, which actually you can see a lot in the modern day and time, because for some reason people nowadays think that being futuristic equals being good. And now you have a lot of concepts that are like completely futuristic and they just don't make sense. Like there is this big project now in the Emirates, I believe, like called the Line or something,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the whole,
yeah, I saw
that
that,
whole
uh-huh.
city. That's an example of technology used poorly. Like that is just inefficiency all around. Or similarly, they are in China. They are creating levitating cars, like with magnetic levitation that has already been around for decades in the maglev trains. But I mean, it's just basically the maglev train, but worse. It's like, why? You know, like you have all this technology, but you just fail to use it in an effective way, and you can actually build a way more effective system using technology that already exists, or even without using technology at all. Because that city, the Line, it is beat by a city that was built 1,000 years ago in terms of effectiveness. It's like if you just make a circular city and just have the facilities close to each other on walking distance, you already have a better city than that utopic nonsense that they are creating, you know? So it's not the technology itself, it's how you use it.
There you go. Yeah, they just have a lot of money, Zima. And they just want to go ahead and just use it for anything. Just burn it, you know. Yeah, I guess as of right now, I'm sure the community has learned a lot from you guys. Thank you very much for attending today's AMA. Any last questions from our community and anyone who would like to go ahead and raise their hand? In any case, if not, we would like to go ahead and end the discussion now. Thank you very much. It has been a very fruitful session. I'm sure I've learned a lot. I'm sure our community have learned a lot. Thank you very much, Zima, Cryptopia, John, Hugh, and Mixie for sharing your thoughts about technology. I'm sure the people will be more interested to join the tech faction. Definitely. So I'd like to go ahead and just do a quick plug for our Easter egg hunt. So look for the tech faction light paper on our Discord. There will be an activity there where you're going to be looking for stuff, and there will be a chance for you to win something. So please look at that. I encourage you to do so. And yeah, once again, thank you very much, guys, for sharing your thoughts for today regarding technology. And see you around. I guess that's it. Thank you very much. There will be an activity hosted by Aaliyah. So for the people who would want to join that activity and have fun with the community, you're all very much welcome. Once again, thank you very much for joining Cryptopia's AMA. Meet Tech Faction members. See you in Cryptopia, guys.
Thank you for hosting
Thank you,
it,
everybody. Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you, Zima.
Thank
you,
you.
Chief. Thank you, John. Thank you, you, Mixie. Say goodbye.
Bye, guys. Good night.
There you go.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. For anyone who would like to join the activity, you could just go ahead and move over to our voice channel so that Aaliyah and Hugh can assist you with the games. There will be prizes in store for you guys, so please do join. Thank you, and have a great night.